special needs mean? Oftentimes, people with disabilities are referred to as special needs, but that title limits them to a stereotype that is far inferior to describe these individuals. So let's take a minute and break down that title. The word special, unique, original, different. Let's think back to that time as you were going off to school and your parents told you just how special you were. Or when you were feeling down and your friends told you just how much your special friendship was to them. How come in those instances the word special is of the highest compliment, but when referring to someone with special needs, it becomes derogatory. It becomes a way of drawing a line between those who are in a wheelchair and those who can walk. The word need, a necessity, a requirement, a want. Some of my needs include love, watching Netflix, hanging out with my friends, or expressing myself through art. As you're hearing my list of needs, you may think to yourself, I have different needs. Well, maybe your needs include traveling the world, playing baseball, playing soccer. Your needs are specific to you. Your needs are what make you special. If this is true, then why isn't everyone referred to as special needs? Everyone has needs. Some are just more specific than others. So now let's put the phrase together. Special, unique, needs, necessity. Special needs, a unique necessity. This past school year, I was enrolled in a class that just started last year called ACES Art and ACES Physical Education. It's a class where general education students and students with disabilities are paired up to do different activities, whether it's sports or art projects. And it's a really awesome class because we all get to interact with people we may not have normal classes with. ACES stands for Acceptance, Care, and Empowerment, important ideals that the class hopes to instill in all of the students. Like any other high schooler, I eat lunch with my friends. Some of my friends happen to have autism, Down syndrome, but I don't see them as the name of the disability that they have, but the name they were given at birth. Like any other high schooler, they come to school to learn, to goof off with their friends, and deserve the same care, acknowledgement, and respect. Oftentimes, people feel out of place because of their unique necessities, but that is not all that defines them. So, let me tell you about one of my best friends, Kuran. He has become one of the most amazing people to ever enter my life. He's sarcastic, he's hilarious, he's funny, and most of all, he's so loving. Kuran and I had one of the most amazing friendships that started out so strong from the beginning. He's taught me a lot. He's taught me about patience, that while we all work at different paces, we can still work together and work stronger together. He's also taught me a lot about endurance and pushing yourself, and that, you can't just give up when the going gets tough. You have to continue to push yourself until you achieve your goal. But most of all, Kuran has changed the way I see people with disabilities. So much so that I actually hope to study art therapy and become an art therapist, working with students who have disabilities and using art, creating a conversation, a way for us to communicate our feelings. And so, of course, Kuran and I became this amazing friendship, and the moment I really realized that this is what I want to do with the rest of my life was a typical day in my gym class for ACES with Kuran. We were starting a new unit, the basketball unit, and I could tell that Kuran was struggling a little bit. He wasn't really making a basket, but he had been doing great in all other aspects, so I thought this should be fine. He'll fly with soaring colors. And we got to the shooting drill, and when we got there, nothing was clicking. He couldn't make a basket, and I could see he was getting frustrated. And although I kept on encouraging him, he would use his typical catchphrase, "You're giving me a headache," to tell me I was being annoying, but I just wanted him to score a basket. So I was starting to think, how are we going to make this happen? And one of my favorite phrases is improvise, adapt, and overcome. I decided, Q, we need to improvise. We need to find a way for you to score this basket. For some people, a harsh coach is what makes them score. But that wasn't going to work for Q. Q needed something to push him to really succeed. Q needed music. Now, when I say this boy can dance, I mean this boy can dance. If there's music on, he's going to be dancing to it. Doesn't matter if he's supposed to be working on his art project or listening to instructions, he's going to be moving. And from the start, it was just this ball of energy. And so I said, all right, Q, I've got an idea. You and I will put a little plan together. We'll talk to Heselton, our gym teacher. And if you can score a basket, I promise that at the end of the gym period, we'll have like a 10-minute little session for you to dance all your favorite songs. From that moment, everything changed. I've never seen him work so hard in his entire life. And so I remember him coming in and always just working so hard, and it still wasn't really clicking, but I could tell that the ambition was there. So again, we came to our gym class. It was another day, and I don't know, I felt like something was going to happen. And so Q gets up and he gets in line to take his basket shot, and I'm standing right next to him, and he looks at me, and I'm like, come on, Q, you've got this, you can do this, you're going to do great. And so he steps up, and he looks at the hoop, and he takes a shot, miss. It's okay, Q, you've got this, come on. And I saw he was a little discouraged, but like his bubbly self, he got back in line. And a few minutes later, it was again his turn, and he gets up to the hoop, and he looks at me, and from behind the hoop, I'm saying, come on, show off those big muscles you're always showing off during lunch. And he gets up to the hoop, and he looks at the hoop, and he looks at me, and I give a final thumbs up, and then he adjusts his stance, and he takes a shot, and that's right. For the very first time, Kuran scored a basket. I have never been so proud of Kuran in my entire life, and trust me, Kuran has amazed me from the start. All I remember was running over to him and smiling and screaming, and we were just both so excited. And the smile he had on his face, that was the smile that every time he said, Carly, you're being annoying, worth it. And so after that, we of course made sure to have our dance parties, and you think that would have been enough for Kuran, but no. He had to push himself even further. He set a new goal. He wanted to become the best shooter in the class. And so then he gets back in line, and I'm like, what are you doing? We're done with the shooting drill. And he's like, well, I'm going to score 2 baskets in a row now. He just continues to amaze me and inspire me and tell me that even though the going gets tough, you continue to push yourself. And this is something that I need to continue to listen and grasp information and inspiration from, because I'm currently a second semester senior, and I could use all the help to cure my senioritis. So, yes, Q had a unique necessity that pushed him to score a basket, but don't we all have unique ways of pushing ourselves to achieve our dreams? I'm a painter, and over the summer I had a portrait challenge, and my teacher said to us, whoever can make the best portrait will get a free gelato. For me, food was the incentive. For Q, it was music. We both worked equally hard and therefore deserve the same respect and acknowledgement for our accomplishments. I have seen the hallways of Jones College Prep completely change. For starters, the lunchroom is way less divided. At the beginning of the school year, it used to be special education students sit over here, students from the general education population sit here, but now kids who have classes with their ACES students are all sitting together. And some students who don't even take the courses are coming up to me, and because Kuran and I are very well known in the program, and he's come up to me and they're like, well, I want to sign up. I want to know how to be a part of this and, you know, have a life-changing experience. And it doesn't stop here. More and more schools are beginning to integrate courses like this into their classrooms with the hope that they can also have a sense of inclusion and community within their halls. And I truly believe that with the help of courses like this, that we will become more inclusive as a whole, as a world. And you may think I'm thinking big, but I never would have thought Jones would have changed the way it has in so little time. And for that, I have all the optimism in the world. In May of 2015, I started a project called the Fingerprint Project. Basically, what I did was I went around the school and I collected students' fingerprints. And I would show them a fingerprint and I would say, can you tell me who this fingerprint belongs to? Some students would say, of course I don't know who this belongs to, or some students who wanted to just mess with me would say, well, if the fingerprint's green, it obviously belongs to Shrek. But I knew that they weren't really sure, and so then I said, all right, well, if you can't tell me who this fingerprint belongs to, do you know that a fingerprint is made of DNA, which means who you are, what you look like, what you speak like, your interests, who you are as an individual. So if you can't judge a fingerprint, all of those things, then why in society is it socially just to judge someone based on preconceived notions? The answer may seem obvious, but many are oblivious. So once I stated my case, I asked students if they would be willing to let me collect their fingerprints to join my project. And I ended up collecting over 500 fingerprints from students, staff, faculty, all sorts of people within the Jones College Prep community. And this piece took me a long time to put together and is actually going to be installed in the school. And I'm really excited because I hope that when people pass by this project, they not only try and find their fingerprint and realize, wow, I don't even know which one is mine, but they feel a sense of inclusion, and the walls and the halls of Jones College Prep continue to strengthen. So, I have a unique necessity. I need people to realize that people we refer to as special needs are so much more than that title. We need people to understand that we're really more alike than different. We need people to rally for special education. The IDEA is an education act that makes sure that students with disabilities have the education they so deserve, but recently on the local CPS and even national level, threats have been made to it. Without these courses, Kuran never would have gotten the education he so deserves, and I never would have met one of the most amazing people in my life who I get to call my best friend. We need a change in the way the world thinks of the phrase